Thanks for joining us on the Midday News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Less than 48 hours after we reported a fire outbreak at the premises of the Independent Television and Radio in Benin, Imagine reports as at now that there has been another fire outbreak in the studio area of the Africa Independent Television Alagbado in Lagos. The station confirmed the incidents via its Twitter handle and a scroll text. It, however, says the fire has been put out by men of the fire service and no casualties were recorded. Although the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained, assessment of damages is still underway, and we'll bring you updates on that story subsequently. Niger's military has confirmed the launch of a ground and air offensive against the Boko Haram group in northeastern Nigeria by Chadian and Nigerian forces. The offensive came after the African Union on Friday endorsed the creation of a regional force of up to 10,000 men to join the fight against the group, which on Saturday pledged allegiance to the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The force, the idea for which was adopted at an AU summit in January, will be based in Chad's capital, the Pan-African Bloc's Peace and Security Council said. It will be mandated to prevent the spread of Boko Haram activities and other terrorist groups and eradicate their presence. Diplomats say Chad, Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger and Benin had committed to providing troops who would operate freely in a still undefined region. The Bring Back Our Girls group has asked for what it called a mid-time report of the 6 weeks military operations against Boko Haram insurgents in Northeast. It also challenged the military authorities to publish the number of terrorists killed, number of those captured alive, number of fallen troops and those injured. The group at its sit-out on Sunday in Abuja also demanded for names of all liberated towns, villages and local governments, as well as the communities that residents could return to and those that are safe for habitation. The movement in a statement said it looked forward to the victory of the military and the multinational joint task force, noting that it's hopeful that the military will succeed in bringing back the Chibok schoolgirls. The group asked the federal government to respond to the perception that it may have mismanaged the support that several countries, like the United Kingdom and the United States, offered at the beginning of the search to rescue the Chibok girls in May 2014. The Bring Back Our Girls group also challenged the British government and other countries which gave support to the federal government to demonstrate a minimum standard of accountability by providing substantial update of the results they have accomplished. Well, the Independent National Electoral Commission has now extended the deadline for collection of permanent voter cards across the country by additional 2 weeks. This is in spite of attaining 80% collection ratio nationwide. The commission said in a statement issued by the spokesman for the INEC chairman, Kayode Idowu, that PVC collection, which was to end on March the 8th, will continue till March 22. It, however, noted that this would be the last opportunity for duly registered persons who are yet to collect their PVCs to do so before elections scheduled for March 28 and April 11. And controversies rocking the party lines have continued to trail the use of the smart card readers for the 2015 general elections. On the spot, the Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Raji Fashola, says the use of the device during the polls will no doubt curb election rigging. Fashola made this affirmation at a function in Lagos where he berated the People's Democratic Party's opposition to the use of the card readers, wondering why a party that claims to be fighting corruption via technology is now running away from the use of same technology to prevent electoral fraud.
On one hand, they promise you technology. On the other hand, they are afraid to use an electronic card reader. Wake up and smell the coffee. Smell the coffee. It's brewing. What kind of promise is that?
As the impeachment saga in Ebonyi State continues, the state government says the Economic and Financial Commission, EFCC, as well as management of Fidelity Bank, has grounded the state's finances, making it difficult for the government to pay workers' salary. According to the state's Attorney General, Ben Ngwe, both EFCC and Fidelity Bank are working with some of the government's political enemies to paralyze the state. The allegation is contained in a suit it filed against the EFCC and Fidelity Bank before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Higuayi, along with the state's 13 local governments, filed the suit seeking, among other prayers, the court's declaration that the power of the EFCC to freeze its accounts exercised through Fidelity Bank is unlawful. The plaintiffs are with the suit challenging, among others, the decision by the bank to freeze its joint local government account, allegedly under directive by the EFCC. The plaintiffs in the supporting affidavit also stated that the basis for freezing the account is politically motivated by political difference. As the 2015 general elections draw near, the FCT Police Command has embarked on specialized training for its officers and men to ensure the conduct of free and fair elections in the territory. FCT Commissioner Police Wilson Inalego, while speaking to newsmen, said the training was organized for the personnel of the command to know their roles and responsibility during the elections. He added that other security agencies are also involved in the training in the spirit of interagency collaboration. He said apart from the military, whose role will be restricted during the elections, other security agencies that will man the various polling centers will participate in the training. The CP said peace accord had been signed by all the contestants in the FCT. He said the signing of the peace accord was part of efforts to ensure that the March 28 election that will hold within the territory is peaceful. Meanwhile, the elections will go down as probably the most controversial in Nigeria's history. Opinion leaders across the country have expressed divergent views, with most comments targeting the chairman of INEC, Atahiru Jega. While some are calling for a sack, others believe the INEC chairman should be allowed to finish the good work he has started. At a press briefing to commemorate the forthcoming Eletumare Festival, the promoter, Gani Adams, seized the opportunity to air his opinion on national issues, particularly the much-awaited 2015 general elections. He called for the immediate sack of INEC chairman Atahiru Jega.
I, Otumba Gani Adams, is using this forum to call for immediate sack, removal, or retirement of Professor Atahiru Jega, the chairman of INEC.
It was also time to question the creation of additional 30,000 polling units in northern Nigeria.
PVC, which is permanent voters card. It is embarrassing through Jega's own publication that almost 90% of voters in area of war and attrition in the northeast of Nigeria have been able to collect their PVC, despite the discarded and displaced by war, whereas in the southwest, especially Lagos, where there is peace and tranquility.
We'll take our first break on the news, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG. And we're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, level space, at news. The People's Democratic Party in Rivers State has raised an alarm that the All Progressives Congress and the Rivers State government, in league with a police special unit in the state, are plotting to kill its PDP leaders. Now, the Rivers PDP says it had uncovered an alleged plot by the APC to use operatives of the C41, a special police unit established 8 years ago to combat the scourge of kidnapping in the state, to frame up and assassinate its leaders. It therefore asked the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Sulaiman Abba, to ban the C41. Spokesman of PDP governorship campaign organization Ima Oka accused the APC and the Rivers State government of conspiring with the C41 police outfit to orchestrate political violence in the state and blame it on President Goodluck Jonathan. Oka says the state PDP had lost confidence in the security outfit because its conduct and operations were not under the control of the Rivers State Police Command. He accused the C41 unit of a failed attempt to kidnap and kill a member of the PDP in the state, identified as Tonye Adoki Ayela, a PDP candidate for the State House of Assembly for the forthcoming general elections, adding that Ayela was saved by security operatives attached to a member of the River State House of Assembly, Evans BP. Well, in a swift reaction, however, the APC described the PDP's allegation as mendacious, saying that it was unthinkable for any sane mind to think of what the PDP had alleged against the Nigeria police. A statement by the publicity secretary of the APC in the state, Mr. Chris Fineborn, said the allegation could only be possible between the PDP and any corrupt federal agency under the current administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. Meanwhile, the APC Presidential Campaign Organization has made a formal complaint against the First Lady, Patience Jonathan, who, during a rally in Calabar, Cross River State last week, called on PDP supporters to stone anyone who came to support to the state, asking for change. The party says a letter of complaint signed by the River State Governor and Director General of the campaign team, Rotimi Amechi, will on Monday, March the 9th, be dispatched to the International Criminal Court, ICC, the Inspector General of Police, and the National Human Rights Commission. According to Governor Amechi, the president's wife had, through her comment, clearly called on PDP supporters to attack APC supporters, chanting the party's slogan of change. The party likened some of her inciting statements and conduct at campaign rallies to those of Mrs. Simon Gbagbo, wife of former president of Cote d'Ivoire, Laurent Gbagbo, prior to that country's 2010 election. A Lagos lawyer, Femi Falana, has described the life pension being allegedly proposed for lawmakers in Lagos as an infringement on constitutional provisions. The senior advocate, while reacting to a recent media report that members of the Lagos State House of Assembly are deliberating on a bill proposing a life pension for the Speaker of the House and his deputy. Falana, in a statement on Sunday, said legislators, being only part-time workers, are not entitled to any form of pension under the Pension Reforms Act 2014. He described the move as insensitive and immoral at a time when workers are owed salaries and allowances. According to Falana, the position of the law is clear as to the non-entitlement of legislators to pension, since they are not civil servants and are only required by the Constitution to sit for not more than 181 days or 6 months in a year. He said only the president and governors are entitled to pension in line with Section 84, subsection 5 and 124, subsection 5 of the Constitution. He also added that if the Lagos legislators do not drop the idea, they will not hesitate to challenge them in the court of law. We'll take another break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Outside Nigeria now, a Moscow court has charged two men in connection with the murder of Russian opposition activist Boris Nemtsov. It said that one of the men, Zara Dadayev, had admitted involvement in the shooting on a bridge near the Kremlin. He and the other accused, Anzor Gubashev, are of Chechen origin. Of course, three other suspects in the case also appeared before the court on Sunday and have been remanded in custody. Nemtsov, a former deputy prime minister and veteran Liberal politician, 55, was shot in the back 4 times as he was walking with his girlfriend within sight of the Kremlin. He was buried in Moscow on Tuesday. Anzor Gubashev and Dadayev, who are both accused of organizing and carrying out the murder, were brought into court amid heavy security. Little is known about the men, but reports say Dadayev once served in a battalion of Interior Ministry troops in Chechnya. The other suspect includes Gubashev's younger brother Shajiv Gubashev, and reports say all three have denied any involvement in the murder. They are accused of both organizing and carrying out the shooting of Boris Nemtsov. So far, though, there are no clues on whether they were hired for the killing, as Nemtsov supporters believe. Saudi Arabia has expressed surprise and dismay at international media reports criticizing the flogging of a Saudi blogger for insulting Islam. In its first official statement on the case, the Foreign Ministry said it rejected any interference in its internal affairs. Raif Badawi was sentenced to 1,000 lashes and 10 years in jail last year. He received the first 50 lashes in January, prompting strong criticism of Saudi Arabia's human rights record. The Foreign Ministry said it could not accept any infringement on the country's sovereignty or on the impartiality of its judiciary system. Mr. Badawi's case has prompted international protests and was raised by several governments. Mr. Badawi's 1,000 lashes were scheduled to be administered over 20 weeks. He received his first 50 lashes outside the mosque in Jeddah in January, but subsequent rounds has been postponed. Mr. Badawi established the Libra Saudi Network, a now closed online forum that sought to encourage debate on religious and political matters in 2008. And that wraps it on the Midday News. Do join us again at the top of the hour for more stories. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.